to Vivian, who has been a coach, a certified coach for quite a long time and who has a background in very different organizations. And you have worked in commercial organizations, in consultancy, and now you have been a very dedicated coach and also a mother of two beautiful daughters. And you're going to share your talk on focus, grow, and flow.
First of all, I have to stand to get into the flow. Can you hear me well? Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. It's really a blessing for me to be here and to share my story with you. My name is Vivien. In the professional world, most of the people have known me as Vivien. In fact, the first name I was ever given is my Chinese name, as you can see from my Zoom name, Wing Si. So the first character, Wing, means novelty, ingenuity. The second character means thoughts, thinking. Talking about thinking, when I was a teenager, my best friend always said, Vivien, come on, this is break time. Everyone is having fun, doing something fun. Why do you always go to the teachers and ask questions? Yeah, I always love thinking and questions. Whenever I'm in the space of generating new ideas, new insight, co-creating something, I got completely into it as if I lost track of time and space. Nothing else matters. I can be so immersed into it that I forget to eat and drink. And then suddenly it was like, wow, 5 hours passed. So in case I overrun today, you know where I am. I do have to say, it's a very special thing to me. What about you? When do you get completely immersed into that intense concentrations, purely doing what you love? Can you think of something? I'm sure you can. I didn't know that there was a name to it until I studied psychology. And when I met my boyfriend, now my husband, he told me about the song of flow, coined by the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. So when we get into this song, this beautiful, invaluable inner experience, our brains are freed up for creativity, enhanced happiness, and optimal experience. But it's funny, it's not a static thing, it's two things. There is a challenge and there is skills. There's two things that's interplaying with it, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But I want to say, flow, what does it say to us? Why does it matter? There is an ancient Chinese phrase, which is very famous in a Confucian's Chinese, Confucian classic. It's that 修身齊家治國平天下. It can probably be translated as to bring peace to the nation, one need to first build stability to the society. And to build stability of the society, one need to first harmonize your family. And to harmonize your family, one first need to cultivate the self. This quote has reminded me the importance of going into ourselves, deep into ourselves, before we talk about driving any change in the other level of the systems, okay? First, start with the self. This is something so deep. Flow is something so deep that no one else on earth can touch but you. I have to use the word but for this time, Claudia. And it's very interesting. The most fascinating thing is it is not a static space. It is dynamic. The two dimensions are in play. So it's challenge and skills. When we perceive that the challenge is higher than the skills, we get into the anxiety mode and we can't fall out of the zone. When we perceive that the challenge is too low, too easy, something too easy, we get bored. It's only when the challenge and the skills meet, this is where we have flow. So the question is, how do we return to flow? I found a fascinating, brilliant route when I reconnected with AI. This is like finding my way home. I've known AI, first of all, many years ago, but I've missed out so much about that, especially the being side of it. A few years back, I was attending a workshop conducted by David Schickett and Bernard Tolick. When the two persons was talking about AI classic dreams, I struggle. I really struggle. So I went to David and I asked for help. Remember that I love asking teacher questions. He gave me the most powerful inquiry of all time. He said, would you like to have lunch with me? Okay, I get into the way of the teacher's lunchtime. Yet, at that lunch, over that lunch hour, he helped me reconnect, unlock something in me. Don't ask me what he has done. I still don't know what he has done. But there's something unlocked that I feel like I reconnected with AI again. And it was like, finally, I can touch the untouchable AI. So how did I find the way back home? It paradoxically, it started with my home. I've grown up in a very supportive family. I didn't know that behind the support, there were expectations, unwritten rules, comparisons. And with all these, as time goes by, there is a voice implanted in me. I'm not good enough. I was constantly thinking about like what I have either done wrong yesterday or worrying about tomorrow. All this anxiety that came with it get me into the mode of constantly thinking about, no, you can't do it. That's not enough. I think this is something that I really need to look into. The anxiety constantly helped me to uplift my skills. In a way, it drives me to learn and improve, but it is a different sort of motivation. When I reconnected with AI, I flipped from questioning myself into inquiring into myself. It's just like what this TED Talk stands for, TAD, having timely, appreciative dialogues with myself. What we focus on growth, right? When I start to refocus on who I am, something shifts. It's like a whole new thing. I became more intentional in getting into the flow. Bear in mind that in the last 2 years, life has not been easy. And same here, my journey has been full of challenges. But my inner state is like flow. And when you are in the flow, you can flow through the rocks and stones. So as I shift my focus, I grow in 3 areas. The first one is I grow in my positive core. So I start to inquire more into my positive core. What natural gifts were I given? My talent, my experience, my characters, my relationships, my family, my connection with God. When a shiny opportunity came in the past, the first thing that came up in my mind is, can AI help me to reframe what if to why not? What have you done in this area or other similar area? What do you know? Who did you know? The moment these inquiries came in, it helped me to shift. It really helped me to shift. The second area is to grow my passion. I realized that I become more conscious in doing what I love, what I truly love. I become more focused on how I think, feel, and act when I do what I love. It's just like fingerprint. Our heartbeats are unique, and it doesn't lie. So what makes your heart sing? As I shift, I realize that I really live out what I truly love, and I feel more alive. I started to push through more opportunities that have the factors cultivating for my flow. And by the way, I also bravely walked it out from the rooms that I do not sense the flow. It's very liberating. Miraculously, God has prepared other rooms for me, one after one. And usually they are something that I feel deeply engaged with, just like speaking with you all here. The third thing is I grow possibilities. Let me tell you a secret. I used to believe that what goes up will go down. I usually feel scared when things went well. AI taught me to think about what's possible. What could be amplified? What could be built on? There's loads of possibilities around us, right? So focus, grow our positive core, passions and possibilities, and just flow. Now, what about you? I'll invite you to reflect and share with others in the breakouts a few questions. Thank you, Sashias. When was the time that you are fully in the flow? And how are you like when you are in the flow? How has AI helped you to get into the flow? And when you are in this zone, who are you with? Are you with yourself or are you with someone else? Now, there are moments when you are deeply in this beautiful zone and you suddenly realize that people around you are or are no longer with you in this zone. Yeah, there may be a sense of loneliness. And it's okay. I've been there. And I want to say congratulations. You might have found something uniquely matters to you. So keep going. Keep going, and maybe one day you can activate or reactivate others to be in the flow again. But you got to ask yourself, how important is that relationship? Did you have a shared purpose? And if you got affirming answers to these questions, then maybe you can invite others for conversation and ask, what do we need in place in order to flow and flow? Now, first thing first, how ready are you to go deep into yourself? And who are you? Thank you.